Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin' 2 The Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin' 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
Welcome to Hybrid, the Sons of God. In this highly acclaimed series, descendants of the ancient gods face off against a celestial threat. Our heroes begin to converge at the Stardust Motel, where a deadly ambush awaits. Who will be the first to fall on the killing field? A fast-paced adventure where a Chris Claremont-era X-Men meets ancient aliens. Elements of drama, horror, and humor tell a well-crafted story. Complex character dynamics come into play as average people face unspeakable evil while learning to live with their newfound powers. Referred to as the X-Men I wanted to read, it is worth diving into the Hybrid universe now. With plenty of ways to get started at any budget, you can get your copy of Hybrids today, only on Indiegogo.
Good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. And I always mention how I am cheap envelope liquor for Critical Blast Logistics. Well, that is what we're in the middle of doing right now. Company Men has arrived. I have all the pieces except for the hardcover. If you ordered a hardcover, we're still waiting on that to arrive. It's on a boat somewhere coming from the printer. But everything else is here, and everything's going out this week. Everything that's not involving a hardcover going out this week. You will start getting tracking numbers in your emails. That's what we do. We don't sit on these things. When we got the stuff, get it out the door. Because I want to say it's customer service because I want you to get as quickly as possible. But it's necessity. I can't walk in my room if I've got all these books in here. Come on. It's a matter of personal privilege now. Tarks9 is in the chat. Welcome, sir. Glad that you are here, sir or madam. I should not misgender anybody based on a YouTube identity. Please do forgive me on that one. We are going to talk tonight about Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, the Killing Fields, chapters 1, 2, and 3, which means that this is really the third part, but you can catch up. And to do this, we're going to talk with Mr. Luke Stone. Luke, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on tonight.
I am. Well, I'm glad you're here, man, because, you know, we had a cancellation, and I said, "Hey, got an open slot," and you were the first guy wanting to come in and talk about the book.
Yeah. Well, I'm always ready to talk about the book. I think that's, I think when you're in campaign mode, you kind of have to be. So, but I know I've been on before. We've talked about the book already. So hopefully we can talk about other things around the book that maybe we haven't before. And maybe we can find some new things
I'd love
about it.
to come up with new ideas around it.
Yeah.
We both know what it's about.
We know what it's about. And Tarks 9 knows what it's about.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I've added some stuff to the campaign. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I've added a couple of, if you refresh that, I don't know when you pulled that up last.
Earlier today, so yeah, let's definitely refresh.
Yeah, I've been editing today and getting things ready for my Nerd Bacon show tomorrow, and then I added some things to the campaign. So I've got a message from Ming Chen from Comic Book Men up there talking about hybrids. So I put his message up there so people can read it, or not read it, but listen to what he's got to say, which is nice. He did a real nice little promo for the book, and super happy that he did that. He's a heck of a nice guy. And then I updated the unlocked stretch goals that we've got. So now every backer will get this triple play ash can. We're only going to put enough for the backers. I'm not even going to keep one. Like, it's just going to be.
Are there 3 of them, or is this just a guy moving really quickly? Oh, there are 3. There's 3 different colors.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, it's an interesting bit about the story. I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler, so anyone watching can get this. But they are actually triplets, and their power is they merge into one.
Oh, so like a reverse Jamie Madrox.
Yes, actually, that's the truth. Yeah. So I'm working with a guy named Shane Almond, who is a fantastic writer. He has worked with me on another story called The Runner. So The Runner is a story that I have the concept for, kind of have it outlined, and so I have it outlined, and he is doing the scripting for it and kind of taking it from there. And he found out about this Archer character, and he was like, "What are you doing with it?" I'm like, "Well, he doesn't really have a backstory yet. There's like his kind of who he is. It's really up for grabs." And so he was one of many people, actually. I had a handful of people wanting to write this character, and it was he kind of won out. When he showed me his Green Arrow tattoo, I was like, okay, all right. Yeah, you're the guy. You're the guy for this one.
you're in for the arrow. I've got a Green Arrow. What have I got here? My jacket is growing, and this is going to go on it soon.
Nice. Yeah.
So I want to get that on there. I was waiting to go get more patches put on until this one arrived, which just came in. So now I'm ready to go back to the sewing shop. Apparently, and I learned this the hard way. First time I went in, I had like 2 round patches, and they put them on, and it's like, it's $10. I already own the patches. Like, oh, it's only $5 a piece to put a patch on. There's apparently a charge, a mathematical formula that's involved here, because I went in with one of these and a matching Supergirl, and I said, "Yeah, put that on the sleeve." And she's like, "Okay, that's." She looked at it a little bit. She twisted it. She said, "Okay, $30." Why? She's like, "Well, because I got to turn it. 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 Turn it. Turn it. Turn it. Turn it. Turn it." And she's like, "It's a complex patch." So they charge for every turn.
That makes sense. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
It makes sense. Just surprised me because I didn't know there was a formula. Once she explained it, I'm like, "Oh,
well, that's why all the patches that I offer are iron-on."
Well, I get a lot of iron-on patches.
Yeah, you can sew them you can sew them on if you want, or you can iron them on. So that's what I like to do.
We have a growing chat. Mike Walters is here sharing and saying hi. Pleased to have you here.
Hey, Mike.
Tarks is talking about that ash can cover. It does look great.
Thanks. Yeah, I had that commissioned by Dottie cannot remember his last name off the top of my head. But he did a great job on the art, and then the colorist. I cannot pronounce his name. I can spell it, but I can't pronounce it. It has weird like accents to it that I
looks like it would
just
be
can't quite
an
get.
excellent fit in the Perfect 10 universe. If you're familiar with that one.
Yeah,
Nicholas
yeah.
in the chat says, please like and share and subscribe. Well, thank you, Nicholas. I appreciate you telling people that. I never tell people that on my own, so it's.
Oh, you should always tell people to
I
like and
know,
subscribe
just
and to
I
share
feel
your channel.
self-conscious and I don't,
Shameless self promotion is a way of life for us indies, man. That's all we do.
May is coming up. May 25th is my birthday. It's a weekday. I am heavily considering taking the day off from work and just streaming the entire day and saying, "Hey, birthday super chats right over there."
Oh, that would be
Just to
cool.
see what happens.
Are you monetized?
I am monetized. I've been monetized for a year now.
Wow, I did not know that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We
Yeah,
had this when I had 2,000 subscribers for a long time, but we were monetized. Then they changed the rules, and then we had to fit the new rules, which were all about watch hours. So
Yeah.
like 2 years ago, I started this like Jerry Lewis telethon thermometer, and every night I would say, okay, they say we got this many watch hours now, and I just keep coloring it up. Finally, about a year ago, we hit the 4,000 hours of watch time.
Nice.
Like stream. I was doing 12-hour streams on Saturdays. I just you might have even been part of one of those.
I think I might have, yeah. It's been a while ago.
It was about a year ago.
Yeah.
About a year ago this month, actually, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, we just did Saturday. It was like 12 streams in a row, 1 hour each, different person each time.
That's quite a marathon. Sitting in the chair that long will get you.
Oh yeah. Well, I had nowhere to go. I mean, I was freshly divorced. I was living out here with next to no money. Not much has changed, so there's no reason why I shouldn't do it again.
Right. Yeah, that's funny.
And Lorenzo Sleestack's out here. Hello, everybody. Raging to hey,
Nita's in the chat.
Always
Welcome.
Have you back.
And nice to see Lorenzo in the chat. That's I've not seen his name before in the chats that some of the streams have been on. So
we've crossed paths many times now. We're in some Discords together.
Nice.
I'm only in one now, maybe two. I found that Discord is appropriately named. So
see, I've only recently started using Discord. Talked to a couple of people on there, not a lot. So yeah, I don't have any. I don't have anything positive or negative to say about it yet. So we'll see.
You're good where you're at, man. Don't expand.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll probably also use this for the issue 1 cover, since this is kind of an ash can that's kind of introducing. I don't know. We may do a different cover for it, but I just like this art so much.
Smaller dimensions?
No, the ash can is going to be a regular full-size comic, but it's only going to be like 6 to 8 pages. So I think it's going to be 8 pages max. And
okay.
So he's working on the script. Now, he might actually be in bed now because it's kind of late for him. But he's been working on the script today, and hopefully we'll get to something finished tomorrow. Get it off to the artist because I'm not actually doing the art for this one. I've got somebody else on cue.
This exists in the Hybrids universe? I mean, is he a character that we have met before?
Yeah, he's actually even in this book that we're crowdfunding now. He actually showed up in book 4, the Legacy book 4. So yeah, he's been here since the last arc. And yeah, he's a big part of the team at this point, at least for now. He's kind of got one of those personalities where he doesn't really stay a part of the team forever, kind of thing. He kind of shoots off and does things.
I will hopefully catch up on all of this when my long shots package comes in. So
yeah, well, yeah, long shots. You'll get issue 1, which is, I mean, heck, we're crowdfunding Legacy issue 8 now. So, that's and I'm drawing issue 9. I've got that up here on my tablet, working on that one.
Is your drawing strength coming back to the levels it was before hospitalization?
It's getting there. It's getting there for sure. I can get maybe 2 pages done a day if I'm feeling really good. I had a doctor's appointment today, and then I had some other stuff to do, a lot of editing and stuff. So I'm limited on how much time I can spend in the chair. So that that changes how much drawing I can get done. So, but yeah, we've got that unlocked. Then we've also got the Chibi Patch. You talked about a patch. We're offering everyone gets that Chibi Patch. So
That's
3
a
by
lot
2.
of turns and angles, man.
Yes, that would take a lot to sew on there. That's probably a $30 patch right there.
Probably is, yeah. It's a tall one. 3 inches is a good size for a patch.
Yeah, I try to make a good, a good offering for people, especially on these, on the stretch goals.
Is this a printed patch? Printed on
No,
on
it's embroidered. It's embroidered.
It is embroidered. Okay.
Yeah, that's threads.
Because I've got an order placed with a company that is doing printed on fabric, and they make all kinds of hey, it doesn't wash off, it doesn't wash out. I'm like, well, I guess it wouldn't.
They're cheaper to produce. They are, but
and you can get more detailed.
Yeah, you can get a little more detailed, but I just like an embroidered patch, and I just trying to hook up all the backers with something pretty awesome. And the first 2 patches were very masculine, black logos with white thread, and so they were all very they were very kind of masculine and dark. And first one was the Hybrids logo, the second one was the Hybrid Engineering, or the Heck logo. And
see, we did a embroidered patch, and it was just this little 2-inch.
That's cool. Yeah, that looks good.
It's not bad, but it's like it's small.
Yeah.
So with this company approached me with their printed on, I'm like, okay, I'll order a very minimal amount because I could order 1.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll order 6, and then if I like it, I'll put 1 on my jacket and I'll give 5 of them away. I ordered 6-inch circles.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. That's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to go right in the center of my back. It's also what she said.
That's
hey, if you can do it, I can do it.
That one's pretty good. I like that one. Yeah, that one. That one's all right.
I got this big space on the back of the jacket. I'm like, why should I keep putting little ones down there? Because people can have to look down to recognize them. Just put one big one down there at the bottom. I'm like, oh yeah, that takes up all the real estate. So what? I saw this bust. Now this was something that was like planned before, but now it's like existing.
Yeah, so I've been working with a guy named Roberto. He is a 3D designer, and I started out small, like let's get the bust designed, and he's working on the legs now. So we're actually kicking back up to get the legs done. But for this campaign, we're doing the bust. It's a mini bust, so it's about 3.5 inches, roughly, tall. It's 3D printed. There's 2 different versions of it. There's the main version, which is a PLA, and then I've got an add-on for people that may want the bust, but they want it in, they want it in resin. So they're a little heavier, but to be honest with you, I do the faux finish on it myself, so they're bronzed, and so they look identical, and they just seem identical. So yeah. There's by the time it's all finished, it doesn't matter.
So wait a second. This is the bust version, but you're saying he's gonna be able to print this again, and then instead of the base, just cut that off there, and it's gonna insert into actual legs.
Yeah. So I've got when I print these, I actually print the base and the body separate, and then he's gonna design legs with a stand. So the legs will attach to the boots, and the boots will attach to the stand. Is how it will be. So when we finish it, because we're going to paint those.
Think far enough in advance here, Luke. The stand should be very wide, not just like under him. Very wide.
Well, you're jumping the gun. You're jumping the gun. because with the next campaign, not only are we going to add the full statue, but we're going to have another bust that will have legs, that will have another stand that will interlock with the trash man stand.
There
So,
you go.
so we're
So the
going to keep
stands will
growing
interlock.
it. Yeah, all the stands are going to interlock. So we're going to have multiple statues, and you'll be able to put together your own special team, however you want to. So yeah, we're working on those.
Okay, so they
yeah.
don't just interlock, but they interlock in different ways.
It's going to be an octagonal shape base, so that they can interlock any way you want and be able to, and have like some cool elements to it. So you can create your own diorama. We're going to like give like our suggestion, but you know, people can do whatever they want. I see Frog G's here.
He is awesome. a treasure for all.
Yeah, he is. He is a superhero.
He's like putting out links for everybody's chats and all that. Oh my God, Piper, hello.
Piper is here. Piper, is so good to see you. We talk occasionally. We get a lot of work done though.
Yeah, well, she I just got her most recent book.
Peregrine?
Finally, not your fault, but finally. Yeah, Peregrine. I'm waiting to dig into that one and read it. I flipped through it because I was like, did you see the page where her entire uniform gets busted off and she's naked? I'm like, no, but I need to now. So I scanned it. I'm like, oh, well, it makes sense. It was a great big energy burst. Yes, it was on the part of the writer on purpose, but you know, it also made sense in the story. So Nicholas wants to know, do we know who is coming next as a bust? Is this something you can reveal?
Yeah. Next, I think I'm going to do Chlorine. Then we're going to follow that with Bone. I'm kind of doing it with the characters that we saw kind of join the team in kind of that order. And then after Bone, probably Link. We'll do Link. At some point, we'll do Rev and Danny. But you know, eventually we'll try to get them all done. It's very expensive to get these models made, the 3D models made. But yeah, so we'll do them one at a time. But I definitely want to get my, you know, kind of the primary 4 or 5 done. So you know, that includes Ion.
Are they printing any faster? Because I know, gosh, it was had to have been at least 7 to 10 years ago. I was at a convention and somebody was there with a 3D printer, big space, because the whole gimmick was, you know, you go stand on the little circle in your cosplay and you strike a pose, and the camera like circles you like 4 or 5 times, and you're like not moving, not looking. And then it would print you something out 10 to 12 hours later.
It's not sped up any. No, it's not. Because you know, it does these in layers, you know.
Yeah.
And so the finer the detail, the more layers it has. So that's I can print off the mini bust in about 8 hours, 8.5 hours. So it is a little faster, but it's small. You know, like I said, the mini bust is, you know, 3 to 4 inches, somewhere in that ballpark. So
I don't know what Rift Riders is. I'm hoping you do.
Rift Riders is coming up next. I'm actually working on a sign up page for that. So trying to get I don't have the new pages, the new art lettered yet. You know, so I'm been dropping the ball on that. It's a book that Piper and I were working on. It's kind of, you know, pretty exciting. It is basically Doctor Who meets the Lost Boys. So that's kind of what you got there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Take my money, I'm in.
Yeah, it's like and it's going to be on all ages, kind of a fun little romp, you know. So you know, we can market this to new readers as well as adults. So there's not going to be anything unsafe for them in there.
I've got to get to working on my own as well. I mean, I'm sponsoring Pedro Ang's Tropical Magics. So we're running that page as sort of the part of our consulting services.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that.
But
yeah, I think we missed some people in the chat, by the way. I think we saw up here.
Who am I missing? Because Frog came in and just like, no, it's just a lot of Frog.
I thought we had somebody else.
If we missed somebody else.
Nicholas Gear.
Oh, I probably
was in the chat. Yeah.
Nicholas Talker. Well,
yeah, there's Nicholas Gear and Nicholas Toggard. We got 2 Nicks going here today.
There he is.
Nicholas Gear, I think he does the Tin Soldier book.
Yes, Relentless Tin Soldier.
Relentless Tin Soldier.
Excellent.
And he's on Starcross Comics, my old publisher.
And there's Starcross now.
There's Starcross. So, what's up, man?
Good to see both you guys.
Love those guys over there. Love the Starcross crew. They're amazing. In fact, I've got something coming out with them soon. Joe Spicer and I are taking our characters on a team up. And so, Starstruck and Trash Man are teaming up to fight some bad guys, you know, and do some pretty awesome stuff. So pretty excited about that.
Piper said, reminding you don't have to do all the work on that book campaign. Just tell her what to do.
Absolutely. Very good. Yeah,
Piper,
very good.
I should contact you because once Pedro's hit the fulfillment date and it's like going into in demand, I have to do a pre-launch for a campaign, and it is for this. It's the Devil You Know Better, which is our follow-up campaign. Our follow-up book to The Devil You Know. That was 20 short stories by 20 different authors, whom we paid, by the way. And all the stories were, people's Daniel Webster, Faust kind of stuff. You have an encounter. We have comedies, we had folk tales, we had science fiction, we had horror. Well, we're doing it again, and we got 20 more authors who signed up for this one, and 2 of them are Mike
That's
Barron.
awesome, man. Yeah.
Wow. We got Mike Barron and Hart Fisher, both did stories.
Great. Yeah, great writers.
And I was surprised by the call, people who responded to the call for action, because I'm like, wait, one guy's got a Disney Plus series that I validated and said, yeah, he really does have a Disney Plus series. And he's writing a short story in this.
Nice.
But that's all just going to go straight to Ingram Spark, and it's going to be available on Amazon and wherever else you want to buy books.
Very cool.
But we're going to do a larger dimension hardcover limited print run through an Indiegogo. And Mike and Hart are both going to sign the signature plates for it.
Oh, very cool.
And we have begun talks and sent payments to Stefano Cardacelli, who is going to do interior artwork, which is basically for every $500 milestone we hit in the funding, we're going to add a page of art, one chapter page one for each of the stories, up to the 20 stories. And then if we get all 20 stories, we hit that last 500 goal after that, which would be like $10,500. So, that's pie in the sky to me. We hit that, then all 20 of the artwork pieces will also be available as larger prints that will come as a set with the book.
Yeah.
So
one of these days, I hope to break that 10K mark on a campaign. I think that'd be quite a milestone for my career, but I'm not.
I've only run one campaign before. I made $135, and that was 4 years ago.
I want to thank Niobe Comics. Thanks, Larry, for backing the Fellowship of the Indies.
Hey, Niobe, glad you're here, man. Now, I've heard of the Fellowship of the Indies. What is that? How is that different from the Long Shots?
Pardon me. It's different because it's on Kickstarter. Really, I think that's the. It's technically on my campaign page, but I am not running it because I've just not had the energy to try to run a second campaign. So JD Calderon and Daphne Lage are actually kind of running that campaign. So so they're taking care of all that, and they've built the whole thing, and they're doing a lot of the promotion. I share it out as often as I can, but trying to get this hybrid stuff back on track after being sick for so long. It's been quite a long road.
JD's going to actually be on our show next week sometime here. I don't have my calendar in front of me, so I can't tell you the day, but we just worked it out.
And Piper, I will tell you this, Piper, I will message you either tonight or tomorrow, and so we can make a video. I'm going to need you to help me with the voiceover for that, for the Rift Riders. Thanks. Yeah, that goes. COVID brain.
Nicholas thinks you might hit that 10K with the full hybrids RPG release. Now that's
We might actually. We might. I think marketing a game sometimes can be a little more difficult than marketing a comic book because it's a different group. So
it's a bigger group, man.
It is a bigger group, so I think it might be a little easier. Maybe I just don't know. I don't know yet because I haven't really tried it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Developing. Yeah, I had a friend I worked with who was developing a game. He was a big tabletop guy, and I played the game with him. It was a fun game. I don't know what he did with it, but he was like, go out and look at the Kickstarters for tabletop games. Just hit this 6 figures, young lady. That would just make them giggle because because that was like where they started. They were making some serious bank on tabletop games on crowdfunding seeds. So
that would be nice.
Which if they can do it, then everybody can, right? It's deceptively simple.
Right? Yeah, that's it's like these people. They're like, I'm going to make a comic book because I saw EVS make a lot of money doing that. So I think I could do that. Sure. Yeah, that's easy.
Sure. Yeah. And you start off your Indiegogo, and you're like, well, I don't have any art, but I can get some art if you give me money.
Now, yeah. So like with Rift Riders, we do have art. We have, I think, 5 pages of art, and it's kind of a fully realized introduction. We've gotten.
Campaign that's up right now?
No. It's not up yet. We're working on the sign up page so that we can start getting signups for it, and it's going to launch at some point this year. But it'll be another campaign. The chances, probably what will happen is I'll probably be running 2 campaigns at once, and so on that one when we do that, because there's a lot I got planned this year, and I can't just keep to a cycle where it's just only the hybrids books that I'm doing, because there's other things I've got coming. What's that?
You gotta, especially if you want to build a company, a publishing brand arm. You got to do more than one book.
Yeah, well, I'm not publishing. I'm just a kind of a IP studio. I kind of want to create my own stuff. The plan is, as long as Randy likes the properties, that Arrow will be the official publisher of it. If he doesn't like the property, we'll shop it off somewhere else. But I'm giving him first dibs on everything, which I think will probably end up just being Arrow Comics for most of this stuff.
So, then
it is basically, we do have a long shots thing. Did you already support the long shots? Then you can choose
month 2 only. So the long shots was month 1.
Yeah, we also have all the print files for month 2, and so you can get those books as well.
Well, now I know.
We're just not gonna print 3,000 of each one.
No, and thank God you didn't print 17,000.
Oh yeah, that would have been a nightmare. Funny Shorts has got it right. Please subscribe to this channel.
Yes, thank you, Funny Shorts.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Share it out with your friends. Got
to hit the top bell so you always get so that you're always notified. Otherwise, YouTube will just think, you're mildly interested. So this is, I'm seeing entirely different titles here.
Yes, some of those titles are new for the second month. So Peregrine and Calico are both brand new. The other books are extensions of the first month story. So you get a second. Yeah, so basically you're getting book 2 of all of the books, plus book 1 of most of the books, and only 2 of them, like 2 books, are brand new because they were supposed to alternate every other month.
Yeah,
those are Arrow books, by the way. They're really good stories.
Are you going to continue, even though not at the 3,000 print level, obviously, but are you going to continue a schedule with them, or was this like?
No, everybody has multiple books already in the can. So there's I think month 3 is ready for some of the books, and then some of them have already 12 issues done. Or they've got a lot, or they're already finished with their arc. So no, you can jumping into this, you can check out, all these books. You kind of get a taste of all of them, but you can find their respective publishers or creators and get the whole thing, and continue with the stories. I know HeroBot Zero's got another month coming. I know that Calico and Peregrine both have have more story too. So, that's what I know about from Arrow, and obviously J.D. Calderon's got several books. Daphne Lage, J.D. Rosario, and the Wolfpack guys have books. So yeah,
this tier underscores just how much of a deal the long shots package is, because long shots is 7 books or 9 books.
9 books, $25. Yeah.
9 books, $25. This is well, now I've clicked on it now. Let me see it. Anyway, it's $90 for the month too, which is more in line with what you would expect for that many books.
Yeah, it's 9 books, $10 a book. Yeah. So it's that's what it costs to produce. That's kind of what you're getting. So typically, it's for a crowdfunded book, it's about $10. So.
And wow, you're shipping every. We need to talk about this. Get JD on the phone with me. We need to talk about this. We can help that one. $20 to ship in the United States. Yeah, maybe. It's heavy package. JD and I will discuss this. He's going to be on the show. I might have to hit him up tonight because.
There you go. Yeah.
Because these other ones here, I'm thinking we can bring those down. Shameless plug. My channel, I get to do that.
Yeah, you do.
So, what are you thinking of for the future of hybrids now, though?
Well, I've got.
You said you've got to think of other titles because you do got to spread yourself.
Well, I've got 12 issues written, and so we're finishing up kind of the third planned arc. So I've got one more book in this arc of the Killing Field. So book 9 is the last one in this arc, and then we've got the third arc, which is a Lifeline, and that's a 3-book-ish arc. And I'm looking at the next arc. I haven't quite titled it yet because I'm trying to figure out really what I'm wanting to do with it. With this story, like these 3 volumes, when they go to trade paperback to be 3 volumes, it's really like a first, second, third act. It's a larger story to tell. So I'm trying to do I don't know if the next arc will be as ambitious, with as, kind of the big overarching story will take 3 different acts, or if I'll just combine 3 acts into one arc kind of thing. I'm not sure yet, but there's definitely more hybrids coming after this. There's going to be a miniseries for Bone coming. There's going to be a companion book called Armageddon Watch that I'm working on. So that will be out. That's going to be something I'm going to be working on. And then I've got the Triple Play book coming out. Now, I don't know that I'm going to draw all of these, but we're going to definitely be crowdfunding them, and I'm going to make sure I'm finding the right creative teams. But Patrick and I will continue to work on something. I can't not draw.
Oh yeah. It's in you.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how twitchy you're getting at not playing guitar right now.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, but at least I have art, so I don't get too distracted, or too in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. How's the physical therapy going with that too? By the way, I know that you've got probably a ways to go yet, but
yeah, we're looking at starting the disability process, which is going to be a bear, but I'm able to. I have to kind of hold my arm up, help it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got this much. I can touch this there, but I can't do it with the middle finger. See, it just doesn't.
Hold your threads down.
Yeah, but I'm getting a little tension there. Yeah, but this is the range of motion that I have for this hand with those fingers, and this finger is a little bit more than that. See, I can go a little bit past and stuff. Yeah, the thumb can move there. It's a little bit better than it was. Obviously, no movement at all was bad. But yeah, so I'm trying to get it to where it's part of the team now. So I try to gesture with it a lot, and it can hit my shift key and my tab key on my little keyboard, so it gets involved there. Yeah, but
you're talking about your hand as though it's separate from your body now. You're like saying I can hit it with my instead of saying I can hit the shift key with my left hand, you're saying it can hit it.
It can hit it. Yeah, it's just it's a problem employee.
Yeah, the left hand definitely doesn't know what the right hand's doing because it's sleeping.
Yeah. It's bad stuff. Yeah, it's just not working out well.
Have you been able to get back to any pastoring duties, or are you thinking it's just...
I am. I'm filling the pulpit every week. I can't really keep up with all the other stuff that I have to do. I'm trying, but it's just so much. I'm pretty exhausted most of the time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Nicholas, go take care of the little bambinos, and thank you so much for being here tonight. Appreciate you. Hope to see you again.
Yeah, so I'm trying to pick up a lot more commissions. I've got a couple of character designs. Been doing a lot of character design with people lately. That's been helpful. I might pick up a couple of doing like layouts, the thumbnails for people, kind of like what Brian Dawson does for me, and picking up a couple of a couple other little jobs here, cover jobs here or there. So that's helping. That's kind of helps make help with things a little bit. But yeah, I can't quite keep up with the demands of there's travel, there's going around, there's like it takes me forever to type anything, like ages. That's even with the new keyboard because I'm still kind of hunting and pecking, with that. Well,
you should definitely install something more like Dragon. If that's still a thing. I'm sure they got other brands out now on your computer. So.
Well, I've got voice to text, but it doesn't work that well, and I'm finding the editing voice to text, after it's, kind of misinterpreted me.
Yeah, voice to text sucks. It's like very basic.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to where like the iPhone is a lot better. Because I'm just like I'll just start. The trick is to to remember when you're talking to a person afterwards, you don't have to say period, comma all the time.
Yeah.
Nita, thank you for popping in. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Nita.
We'll see you and
everybody. I have come a long way.
Yeah, everybody subscribe to the Rage and 2 Broadcast Network because they've got a panoply of shows on there. They're like a real network of people. I'm just me.
I'm on there. I'm Nick and I. We have Nerd Bacon tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Tomorrow morning it's going to be special. So we're safe for work. Kind of thing. We try to keep things PG-13 at its saltiest. And
I curse in the chat.
And what's funny is we've got Rich Ayala's Roach Balls and Christy Shen's Demon Bitch on tomorrow. So so tomorrow's going to be, it's raw bacon. It's raw bacon tomorrow. So it's going to be, I'm going to plead with them. Like, please do not get me fired. Some of my church people watch this show. It's going to be interesting. But so we're doing that every Thursday. So it's available on my channel and the Rage and 2 Network. So you can, and I encourage you to subscribe to both out there if you haven't already. They're both great networks.
Yeah, you can't play the Roach Balls video, but but you can definitely
I am playing the videos. I spent a couple hours today editing both of their videos for the Nerd Bacon edit. So our mascot Chris P. Bacon is going to be over everything you can't see. And I've beeped out everything that you can't hear.
Good.
So yeah,
That's great.
yeah, it's funny. Uh, Believe it or not, Christy Shins, I had way more beeps than I thought it was going to be. I think
Yeah,
yeah, I
well,
think it was
that
like
doesn't surprise me. I
125.
haven't watched her
Yeah,
show.
yeah, it's like 20 or 25 or something like that. Yeah, it was crazy.
You're gonna need that 6-second time delay dump button, you know, to be able
Yeah,
to. But and Frog G is still on top of everything. He's got all.
he
We were
really
just
is.
talking about. He's like, yeah, he's got to have like an index of stuff in a big old document that
He
he
has
just
to.
grabs
I don't
and
know how he
pastes.
does it.
He's
Yeah,
got the link for Roach Balls. He's got the link for Demon Bitch.
you all suck. Yeah,
And you can for your
for
channel
my
like that.
yeah,
And of course, the Rage Into Broadcast Network, so that you can
yeah,
get in there and fry up some nerd bacon tomorrow.
yeah.
How'd you
That's
come up with
nerd
that
bacon.
name?
How to come up with it?
Yeah.
It was by accident. I messaged Nick and I said, "Hey Nick, I want you to co-host a show with me." And Nick said yes. He didn't know if it was like one day or if it was all the time. And I'm like, "No, it's all the time." And I said, "I'd like you to co-host a show with me. We're going to talk about nerd stuff in the morning. It's going to be at 9 a.m. on Thursday mornings." I said, "Is that time okay with you?" He said, "Yeah, that's fine with me." I said, "Okay." I said, "We need to come up with a clever name like Nerd Bacon or something, you know." And we kept going back and forth different names. And Nita was like, "I like Nerd Bacon." I was like, "Really? Like that's not a real name. I just made that up." They go, "No, that's funny. I like that." So
And, it's no one has it. No one's using it.
yeah, so we're Nerd Bacon. And one of these days we're going to do an afternoon show and call it Nerd Burger.
Yeah, why not? Because bacon is your first thing in the morning thing, and
A burger for lunch, yeah.
it can be a nerd bacon burger. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I put bacon on everything. My son doesn't like bacon. I'm like, I
Uh,
want a DNA test.
yeah, right. How can you not like bacon?
You can't be American and not like bacon. He's like, I don't like bacon.
Nerd Burger is fun to say. Nerd
It
Burger is
is.
so much fun to say. Maybe what we'll do, maybe we'll do, I'll get somebody else on my network to do an afternoon show once a week, and like somebody
They
else
both
can
need
host it.
logos. They both need
Yeah.
logos that can go on T-shirts.
Yeah, yeah. We got a guy, we got a mascot that C. Michael Lanning drew. So I said, hey, I found kind of this thing. I said, I want something like this. And so C. Michael Lanning drew us a mascot, and then we named him. The fans named him. So they voted. They voted on Chris P. Bacon. Is his name? Yeah.
So that's a cool name. Cool name. I'm gonna switch back over here.
Or Bacon Burger. Yeah.
Yeah, I love how these things are designed.
Yeah.
Who did the design for the engineering on this? I mean,
Roberto. Roberto did it. Yeah. He did. Yeah, he did all that. He's a genius. And so
George Peter Gatzis does the same thing, and it just amazes me.
he did. I actually got his name from Michael Odin. He did Michael Odin's statue.
I didn't know Michael Odin had a statue.
Thanks, man. Justin, where have you been, man? I haven't seen you on Twitter or anything. I've missed this guy. We used to do a
You
show
know what?
every Tuesday night. And it was,
It's like old home week back on Twitter this week. It's like all the silenced voices are popping back up in my stream. Like,
yeah, that's nice.
where have you been? Like, I've been here the whole time. How come you're not responding or talking or anything? Like,
Yeah, I know. Justin likes my bisexual lighting. Everybody does. People talk about it all the time. I didn't even know it was bisexual lighting. My daughter set it up because she was like, "Hey, it looks like hybrid stuff because I use a lot of pinks and blues for the
It
powers
does.
and stuff." And so, yeah,
well, that's the advantage of bisexual. It's appealing to the men and to the women. So
yeah.
you've got your bases
Nerd
covered.
nightcap, nerd cocktail. I think if the evening show, if we did that, it needs to it needs to start with a B. because Nerd Bacon, Nerd Burger. You know, you do an all day show. It's a Nerd Bistro. Something like that. Yeah,
that would definitely work. Not Nerd Wings. It doesn't have to be in it. I was going with Nerd
Brisket. There we go. Nerd Brisket.
Nerd Brisket.
Nerd Brisket.
That's better than Nerd T-Bone.
Yeah. Nerd Biscuit for all of our, that because it's kosher.
Oh.
Right. Yeah.
But bacon's not kosher.
No, but brisket is.
Okay, so you're making it multicultural and more inclusive.
Yeah.
And now I'm hungry because all I had was crab rangoon for dinner tonight.
I had some pizza from Papa John's. Papa John's proud sponsor. I wish Papa John's was a proud sponsor. That'd be awesome for you, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. I would just deliver a pizza every night, and I will talk about you and run your ad on my show.
Right. Yeah. There we go.
I've got this little cube fridge here, and I was like, I did a little bit of grocery shopping 3 days ago just because I want to eat. I was like, want something different? I'm in the freezer section. Okay, here we go. These pagoda, whatever they are, thingies that are crab rangoon. I love crab rangoon. I'll do that. I open it up for dinner today. I'm like, conventional oven, deep fryer. Where's the microwave directions? Because I don't have access to any of this stuff. None. It said, do not microwave. I microwaved it. I may die tonight. I
like Frog G. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag could be sponsored. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so now you're going to have to dinner. Who eats dinner? Yeah, well.
Yeah, Justin, we need to hang out again, man. I miss that guy. Justin did a great job with Sam, God's black friend, hanging out and holding down the show while I was under. Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, well, Justin's been on the show before. Here's a long time ago. I can see the book. I can't see the title. Oh my God.
Stitched.
Yes. Thank you.
Unstitched. Yep.
So, Justin, come back. Bring us some more Unstitched. I want to know more about this book now. And I'm in a position where I can, I started backing a lot more books now because I can. And all that's resulted in is I've got 2 cardboard boxes filled with books that I haven't read yet. It's like,
yeah, I've got that problem. Plus, I've got there were so many books that came while I was in the hospital. I haven't even opened yet. I've got a whole pile of it behind me, and so I just every couple days, every week or so, I grab another box and I open it and I see who it's from, and I'm like, okay, this is cool, it's fun. It's like Christmas.
I had the idea to force myself to read them by reading them on a stream. It's just like, okay, Comics Reading Rainbow, here we go. And I did that with 5 titles.
Take a look, it's in a book, Reading Rainbow.
Yeah. And 4 people loved it, and the 5th person said, I wish you'd have asked us first. They weren't mad or anything, but they're like, let's do it a little bit differently. I'm like, and I got embarrassed that I put them in a position like that. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Reading a whole comic on air.
Oh, yeah, because people may not want you. It's like, well, if you read it to me, then I don't need to buy it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I get that. At the same time, I'm like, if I put it on the table, I put a camera way up here, and it's like, wasn't like anybody was really concerned about copying the pages. That's not cool. But yeah, read the whole book.
Yeah.
And the other 4 books were actually 2 issues back. So they were older books, and the newer books had already been out. This one was more the latest book in that series.
Yeah, I think that matters. Yeah. I think that probably matters if you've got 1 or 2 books out, and it's stuff that you're really crowdfunding. But for me, this is book 8 that I'm crowdfunding right now. So, reading book 1 isn't that big a deal to me. I'm like, heck, read books 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead, go and read them. But so I think that kind of where a person's at in their arc, that probably matters a bit. So I can see that. Yeah.
I may still read entire books, but I'm definitely going to reach out first and say, "Hey, I want to include your
Yeah.
book on this show.
Yeah. Do
You
you
okay?"
mind? Yeah.
And just get blessings. Sometimes I operate so frequently on it's easier to get forgiveness and permission.
You're right.
But there's that 1% of the time where it's like, really shouldn't try that.
Yeah, maybe I should go for permission first. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a forgiveness versus permission kind of thing. But yeah, that's kind of me. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this year. I mean, we're going to wrap up this campaign. It's got 5 days left. I took a poll, and I think I'm going to go ahead and extend it. I've got the ability to extend it another 25. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I want more people to be able to get the ash can, and I want to be able to maybe try to raise a little bit more money to unlock at least the next stretch goal, if not a couple of stretch goals. So, thanks, John. I appreciate you saying that.
Hey,
John's got a lot of stuff out, man. He knows what he's doing over there.
He does. He's keeping books out all the time.
Yeah. Watching some of these guys get deplatformed from both of the, from these crowdfunding sites upsets me. It makes me want to try to figure out. I think I'm going to try one of the crowdfunding that I do from my own website. I'm seeing Aerith do it, like setting up the stuff to do it. I'm wondering if I can't, do it from my own website. At least one of the crowdfunding things I'm going to try from my own website.
You've got a built-in audience already, and an audience on social media. Really, it's just a Shopify store with a pre-order.
Yeah, really, that's what it is. And that's what I'll be doing for the remastered trade paperback for Trash Day Volume 1. So obviously, we've remastered the first 5 books, new lettering, new art, a lot of, extra stories. And Piper really gets to show off her editing skills with the Hybrids books. Like, she did a fantastic job. Helped actually rewrite some of the new scenes in the series. And so, so these are great additions. And so the old trade paperback we're almost out. We've only got a few copies left of that. And so we're going to reprint it, but we're going to reprint it with all the Arrow releases. Because, we had that deal that with Liberty that was supposed to happen that didn't happen. So because there was that deal, I went ahead. I was never going to do any kind of changes to the old books. I was just going to let them lie. But because of that, I was like, I think it would be great, since it's going into this new market, to update the books a little bit. I'm going to be under Arrow Comics now instead of my own label. So let me update that. And so I went ahead and redid about 80% or more of the first book, and then did a whole bunch to the second and third and fourth books. And then the 5th book was pretty good. All we're doing is fixing a lot of the stuff the former editor missed. So Piper went through it, and she's like, you had this edited? I said, yes, I did. She goes, well, here's a list of things that need to be addressed. And so I'm going in and trying to fix all those now. So, but yeah, it's been, so it's we've got now all this new content. We've got new story behind it, and I want to update some of those things. And I want to spotlight 2 pages that were a backup story that Meredith Lawgren had written for the first trade paperback. And I want to spotlight that, and I kind of want to have a memorial to her in there, because that was her first published work, and she was going to be the one that was going to write the backstory for one of my villains, Body Bag, and it just broke my heart, that we never got to work on those things, and kind of the last year of her life she spent really promoting other people instead of making her own stuff. And so I want to kind of add that in there for her, and just to, as she's looking down, kind of thing.
She's going to be missed for a long time.
Yeah, say, hey, I love you, sis.
Frog, glad you're here, man. Appreciate all the hard work you do on everybody's dreams. Piper, there's a video on this channel that I really appreciate your feedback on it. If you get a chance to check it out. Yeah, I'm making you watch another video now. But did one a couple of months back. It's in the upload section. It's got the picture of Perry White and Clark Kent from the television series, and it's called "Yes, Your Book Needs an Editor. No, Not You."
Yeah.
And we go through several books that were popular, very popular, but hard to read.
I can't self-edit. I can't. I need to have somebody to do that. And here's the thing. Like, I remember when Piper and I kind of first started, she was kind of like testing the waters. Like, what was she? Because here's the thing. Sometimes people will hire an editor, but they don't really want them to edit. They want them to copy edit. I wanted her to story edit. Like, go ahead and like tell me I suck. Because if you tell me I suck, then I don't have to listen to the fans tell me I suck. Because I can fix it before it gets to them. So I love having her a part of the team, and she's been fantastic with it. She also gives a different perspective, because sometimes I might have a little trouble writing the female perspective. I'm pretty good at it because I have strong women in my life, but so I tend to try to understand that better. But she helps to kind of fix that a little bit, And I know that sometimes people will hire an editor. They don't want them to do that kind of stuff. They just want to copy edit or whatever. And so she kind of tests the water. I said, no, I mean, get honest, get brutal with me. I mean, that's what I'm paying you for. Let's get this fixed. Let's make it better.
Absolutely.
And so,
looks like she might be picking up some more money right here in the chat. So
maybe. Yeah, she's a fantastic editor.
Everybody comes together in this thing.
As long as you let her edit, don't bridle her. Do not, do not put Piper in a corner. Okay, nobody puts Piper in a corner. No, she does a great job with editing, and so she's one of my, and so now she's writing a book. So I guess I get to edit Piper, a bit, because I do some of that a little bit, but I don't normally take editing jobs because I just don't have that kind of patience with people. You have to have patience with people, because I'm like, I can't be that nice.
We had so many submissions for The Devil You Know Better, and I was like, some of it, if I opened the thing up and I was like, you didn't even try to format the manuscript, I don't care if you wrote the next War and Peace. I'm not reading this.
Yeah. Well, I've been working with some guys that, I'm not their editor. I'm just coaching them a little bit on, kind of how to do this stuff. It's just paying it forward stuff, because, right. I've had some help along the way, and I just want to offer help to some folks along the way too. So I've been helping, a few people, but nothing I get or take credit for. They're doing a lot of their work, man. They're doing a great job, building their IPs and stuff. So
yeah, Piper, you're absolutely right. You cannot edit yourself. You because the story's already in your head, and your eyes are scanning and your brain's saying, yeah, we know what this says. We wrote it. We know what it says, and you don't see the mistakes.
It's like, well, for example, I'm having someone edit the RPG that does not game, like they don't game, because I want someone to look at it and be like, does that make sense? Like, does this make sense or not? So if it doesn't make sense, they add the question, and then Nick fixes it, because I game. Things are I understand some insider jargon, right?
Right.
So if I have somebody that understands gaming, pardon me, do the editing, then we might miss things, that the layperson doesn't get, or the standard person doesn't get. So what we want to do is make sure that if someone's picking up for the first time, they've never played a game, they've never done an RPG game in their life, they can pick it up and understand the manual. So, it's important to do that, I think, and to try to, if you've got somebody that's, really close to the story, they probably shouldn't edit so much, which is why I do all the story edit for, I come up with a concept, and I've kind of said, here's the outline for the story. Here you go, and I give it to a writer to script and to kind of flesh out. I will edit, but there's a good chance I'm going to hand that off to Piper too, for her to take a look at, say, hey, what do you think of this? Does this, how does this settle, with you? You don't know the story, you don't know the concept. How does it settle with you? Or I'll do that with a couple other people, and have them put eyes on it for me. So I think that's an important process in order to make something awesome. Because I'm not trying to say that I'm, great at what I do or anything, but I want to be great at what I do for people. And,
Yeah, you want to turn in the best product possible.
Yeah. I want people to trust that when they pick up a Luke Stone Studios project, that it's top notch, that they don't have to worry about it, that it's high quality, which is what I wanted to do originally with Terraform Comics. But I think, focusing on my own brand and my own studio is kind of the way to go with that, so it's like, whether I publish a book through Arrow or it doesn't get a publisher, it's self-published, or, if I publish through Starcross Comics, because I might be working on a project for them, and, so like whatever I do, I want them to think, well, Luke #1 partners with some of the best people. And so Piper, I love working with Piper. Shane Almond, love working with him. Edward Davis, love working with that guy. He does Immortal Era, great book, just wrapped up on Kickstarter. His next book you definitely got to check out. I like partnering with Brian Dawson. I'm hiring out covers from different people and testing them out. But I've got a couple of colorists that I really like. In fact, I just so Eric Hodson did some art for me. I like working with Eric. We may have but then I also got this guy named Alvis Luño, who did the coloring for for a book that we just that we're just getting the art back from, and man, just great work from these guys. And so I try to partner with really good people. Sometimes speed is my only issue with some folks, and it's never from my writers or anything like that. Never from Brian, but because that dude's faster than I am. But so I like quick stuff. And I totally forgot. Like I can't really mention his name because I'm openly Comicsgate, and the colorist is not. So on one of the projects, so he's goes by a different name on my projects, because he still wants to work on them, which is great. But he's fantastic. And then we've got Dillard Draws is actually doing the work for Rift Riders. That dude is fantastic. I recommend that guy to anybody. So I mean, just great work. So I want people to.
If Dillard ever gets tired of doing comics, he needs to go into radio broadcast, because the dude's voice is just. It's like, why aren't you doing voiceovers for everybody?
Yeah.
But creative efforts, they demand teamwork. I mean, I know that things invented by committee usually suck, but comics and movies are totally different. Speaking of collaborative efforts, Sean Fry, good to see you out there, man.
Sean
and Sean, they're a father and son team, both adults, who are doing a youth mob for Biff Bam Boom, aka 3B Comics, out of St. Louis.
Cool. Nice.
And it's like Sean Sr. is doing the artwork. He's an art teacher at the college levels, and his inspirations are Alex Ross. So it's like reading Astro City when you look at these panels.
Oh, nice.
When he's doing stuff. But if you try to do everything on your own, all you do is just amplify the suck.
Usually.
We do movie reviews at criticalblast.com, as well as comics and everything else. And we have a scale of scoring, 5 stars, 4 stars. I've only had one movie that I ever gave a 0 to.
Wow.
And that wasn't even on Critical Blast. I was working for somebody else at that time. And that movie was called Angel Blade. Yeah, I'll just throw it out there. And the biggest problem with that movie was that it was written, directed, produced, starred, scored by, and composed by the same guy.
Oh no!
So I mean, he just
see that's the thing. Now I mean, don't make no mistake. At Luke Stone Studios, it's Luke Stone. It's the quality and the of the story and everything, is you know, I kind of have final say with that stuff.
Sure.
But I pay people to tell me when I am not doing a good job, and I listen to those people, and I'm working with people that have great creative input, So it's like, like Shane's working on this ash can that we just unlocked. We're gonna get that done real quick. Uh, he's asking me. I'm like, dude, here's some idea. I'm like, we just throw ideas out, and like he's like, oh, I thought. He goes, that's awesome. Let's do that, and he'll throw an idea out. I'm like, that's awesome. Let's do that. And so it's like we have creative input on things, and
Sure.
I'm not trying to Hitler this thing or Stalin this thing, but I want to create an environment of creativity with the
Yeah.
people that I work with and my partners that
And
is,
you're
is
smart enough
free
to surround yourself with them.
with good people. And I'll be honest with you, if I've ever worked with you and I don't work with you anymore, and I don't give you a promise that I'm going to work with you again, there's probably a good reason why, and you should learn from that. Just learn from that,
Yeah, there's a concept called the Mastermind Group,
Yeah.
and Napoleon Hill writes about it, where successful people. Part of the reason why they're successful is because they surround themselves with people who are experts in whatever it is they need.
Yeah.
He talks about the story about how Henry Ford, some journalist in an article called him stupid, and Henry Ford took exception and said, well, I'm just going to sue the paper. And the paper's like, okay, come on, we'll prove you're stupid. And it went to court, and it's like the testimony was just like all these IQ test questions, like, what's this? Who's this? When did this happen? And he finally had enough. He's like, I'll tell you what, on my desk, I've got a board, and on this board there's a row of buttons. And if I ever need to know any of the things you're asking me, I press a button and someone comes into my office and tells me what that thing is. So maybe I'm not smart enough to remember all of this stuff, but I'm smart enough to make sure that there's somebody there who does know it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, that's how you got to live your life. I did that in the corporate world. I'm doing that in the creative world. I'm surrounding myself with really good people that are, and not just creatively good people, but good people.
Yeah.
I've taken a chance on a few folks in the past that turned out to not be such good people. I probably will continue to take chances on people, but probably not to that extent anymore. But I surround. I've got Randy Zimmerman on my list of people that I gain knowledge and wisdom from. And pretty much my standard is, if it's not good enough for Arrow or any of these other companies that I would want to publish with, then it's not going to be good enough for me. And so the standard is high, the quality standard is high, but the people want to work on it. Like, that's the thing. I find that there's people that want to be a part of the team. They want to be a part of the process because they understand the standard is high and they understand the vision. So my main vision for this thing, that goes well beyond hybrids, goes well beyond, even Rift Riders, all that kind of stuff, is, now let me say this, because I don't want to come across as arrogant or anything like that. I don't want to do that. But there hasn't been a Jack Kirby or a Stan Lee in a very long time.
No.
And it just doesn't happen. I think the closest thing we had was Chris Claremont, who did the X-Men era that I love the most. Jim Shooter was pretty good at that, but pardon me. Those guys didn't create worlds per se. They worked inside of a world that was already established by a Stan Lee or a Jack Kirby or a Mike Ditko. So those guys really created the fresh that everyone else is living in now. And now you're not really getting even new fresh because the way things are set up is just not, with these big corporations owning these comic companies, they're just not taking a shot on it. The closest thing that we get is Kirkman, with The Walking Dead and Invincible. He does some great stuff, but they're kind of standalone pieces, really. We haven't had someone that creates these massive, expansive universes that can intertwine and overlap. So I kind of want to do that. I want to be that, and I think that a lot of indies may have the talent and the ability to do that, but there's a game plan that has to happen because it takes so long to make a book. It takes so long to crowdfund and publish a book that it's difficult for indies to do that. But I'm trying to find a way to create the stories that overlap faster, and in a way that we can expand it out. Obviously, hybrids has been the thing that I've focused on the most because it was kind of the thing that was selling. It's the thing that people were buying into, and they still do, and it's got a close place in my heart. It was the most difficult universe to build of all of them that I've started. It has been the absolute most difficult to build. And wow, it looks like we've got a new backer. Thank you so much for jumping in on this project. I appreciate it so very much. Yeah, it was at 75 backers when we started this thing. So thank you so much, whoever jumped in.
So, well, yeah, that is our shake and bake moment for whoever did that.
Shake and bake, and you helped.
That's right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's shake and bake, and I help.
I gotta roll that one higher up on my list of little video clips here.
Yeah, so now we're less than $200 away from unlocking the metal trading card. Now the metal trading card is going to be really cool. It's actually going to have the art from the ash can, and it's the triple play card. But on the back, it's going to have some stats about triple play on the back. So it's going to look very similar to those old Marvel trading cards. And we're going to take the triple play logo that's at the top, and we're going to kind of put it down at the bottom and make like a trading card look and feel to the artwork. So it's going to be really cool. Hail Hojo. Yeah, boy, Hojo.
So you're doing, with the books that you're doing for Arrow, does Arrow have a path forward? And Randy's really the one to ask this, but I'm just asking because you might know because you're there. Does Arrow have a path forward into comic shops?
Yes, I think. Yeah, there's something that's being worked on, and I know collectively the 5 publishers, the 7 creators that were part of the Long Shots Fellowship of the Indies, they're working on something. Yes, there are some inroads trying to be made. Nothing that I can really, concrete enough to talk about, or anything.
Yeah, you're not Arrow. I get that.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, Randy. Honestly, if Randy wanted to, like, he's still in the books over there with Diamond. He could probably distribute through Diamond if he wanted to, but I know he doesn't want to. He hates those guys, and rightfully so. They've not made any friends along the way, have they? So
I love his story about how he was giving Diamond and the industry the finger with Spank the monkey, and Spank turned out to be an accidental hit.
Yeah, well, Spank is coming back, I guess. I think maybe, I don't know. Like, he's kind of talked about it. I'm really excited about the stuff Randy's doing. He's working on his graphic novel right now about his COVID journey. I'm working on a book, and it's going to have a small graphic novel companion to it. Probably not going to come out till next year, though, quite honestly. But it's. But yeah, he's doing that, and he's doing some other stuff. But he's got a plan. Arrow 4.0 is a thing, and I don't know exactly what all he's doing. He's the publisher. I'm like kind of top cow with Image in a small little sense. I'm not,
to publish. You got to deal with him, and
he, and the better my books are, the better they sell, the more money we both make, kind of together thing. So that's nice. But so I like not being the guy that has to think about the publishing aspect of it. I have a ton of freedom with Randy too, because Randy, they always talk about Image being the first creator-owned publisher, but no, Arrow Comics was probably among the first. There's a lot of indie and underground publishers back then that the creators owned everything, and so I mean Arrow is no different now. I own it. I kind of determine my trajectory, with things. I'm still in charge of my crowdfunding,
Yeah, I mean, Aircell was out before Image. Don Chen's Parody Press was out before
Yeah.
Image. So
Yes. So yeah,
tons
Don
of
Chen,
stuff.
great guy. Don Chen is an amazing guy. I cannot sing his praises enough. This man not only donated art and time to one of the fundraisers for Randy and I, he actually sold some art and sent a check to my wife while I was in the hospital. I mean, this guy is just, I mean, he is
He
class
walks the
act.
and I tell people, whenever asking what are the shows I can go, what shows can I go on to take my book, I'm like, go talk to Don Chen. He is the Mr. Rogers of Comicsgate.
He is. I say he's the nicest, the nicest man in comics. I don't even
Yeah.
qualify it by Comicsgate. He's the nicest man in comics. And if you're not over there buying books from Parody Press, you should definitely be buying books from Parody Press. They're hilarious.
Yeah.
His coffee, buy his merch and everything. Support this man because this guy is generous with his time and his art and his money, and he deserves every bit of success that he's ever earned in his life. I'm telling you, he is one of the best people I've ever met in my life. And
I can't wait to see his newest project. I don't know what it is yet, but
yeah,
I'll be there for it.
that's how I am with him. Yeah, it's like I can't wait to see what's next.
You talked about building a universe, and I get that. That there's been very little universe building since the DC and Marvel worlds. There's Malibu did something, but it's been a while, and I'd love to see that come out of these crowdfunding books that we're having. The hurdle I see, the speed bump that I see that's in the way, is that you can only host one funding at a time, and
well, that's not
gonna run
entirely
too-
true.
Okay,
That's the thing.
so you
That's not
gotta
entirely
work it.
true. You can do multiple crowdfunding campaigns on Indiegogo. It is possible to do more than one.
Okay.
If you go crazy, they'll get you. But that's why I'm looking at being able to do some crowdfunding from my own website. Because I'm seeing some other people do it They're trying to do it successfully, and so there's got to be a way to do crowdfunding from my own website, so that we can have another method. And obviously, you can run a Kickstarter and an Indiegogo at the same time. And so,
Yes.
there's a way to do that. I don't have much of a Kickstarter audience these days, but because I've been working with Indiegogo, I just prefer the platform. It's not a Comicsgate thing or a political thing for me. It's strictly I just prefer the platform.
Ease of use is it goes a long way.
It does. I like the fact that I get the mailing list, and that it's not platform specific. I like that. I get those emails. I like that when people back, they're paying right away. So it's
Yeah.
not a pledge that drops at the end. I have drop pledges at the end of projects all the time, and it just frustrates me so bad.
And the thing about Kickstarter is that not only do you have to pay at the end, which by the way, I hear they're working on that. I hear they're going to make it a pay immediate kind of thing.
There's an option to do that through like Apple Pay. I backed a few projects, but I did it with the pledge thing because I'm like, I want to make sure they fund,
Yeah,
before I'm
exactly.
actually spending money. So
But then I've had some that I've got on Kickstarter. I paid the money, they funded, and then the 2 to 3 months go by for, we'll just say, a standard book. Not one of these ones that goes 6 years later.
Right.
And it's like, here's your survey. Fill out all your information and click this to authorize more money.
Yeah, I don't like doing that. I just kind of feel like that's an icky way to do things. So I try not to do that. I charge shipping at the point.
I think it should because of backer kit.
Yeah, they do it because the backer kit is an option, and I just think it's icky. I think it's, even when you put it in the campaign and you try to tell people like, look, we're going to charge shipping separate. I don't know. I don't feel right about that. So I work my shipping so here's how I figure out like what I need. I figure out like this is what the project's going to cost. It's going to cost this much to print X amount of books. So I determined to print 200 to 250 books per project because I get about 100 backers or so. And then I want to have enough books to sell at conventions and stuff like that. So I price out what it's going to cost me to print 200, 250 books to start with. Now obviously that's going to have to go up if I have a campaign that just explodes, but that's my baseline. And so I figured that out, and I'm like, okay, well, it's going to cost this much for shipping. So I'm probably going to have 100 backers. So if I have 100 backers or 120 backers, it's going to be $5 minimum, to ship in the U.S. Right now, it's about $7 to ship, and then I've got my, the shipping and handling, the handling stuff, the packaging.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I include bags and boards, the Gemini mailers, any kind of special tape or any of that packaging stuff that I need to be able to get to there. So that's how I figure out my per book.
Yeah.
And so I add that up, and I'm like, okay, well, this is how much shipping I'm going to need, and then I start exactly.
I've actually looked at the thing and said how many inches are on a roll, and then measured how many inches seal the Gemini and divided that into the cost of the tape. I'm like, okay, that's what that.
We do a very similar thing. And so, so I work on that and get that number, and then that number is what I determine is going to be, and I add like, okay, so it was like, well, whatever they take, they're going to take this much in fees. So let's figure out the fees and let's ask for a little bit more. And so I determine before I run a campaign what it's going to cost me to make it, to pay for the pages, ship it, print it, all of that stuff. So get all of that stuff figured out, and then that's what I set the number at, and it usually is lower than what people think. Yeah,
it really is. I mean, shipping is. I think some people just kind of wing it.
I don't wing it.
Throw a number out there.
Can't do that. It goes against me. It goes against my very nature to wing it. Now I'll wing some things, but like when it comes to, because the way I look at it is like, this is your money, this is your hard-earned money going into my campaign. I've got to prove to you that I'm responsible enough to handle your money. Like I've got to earn your money.
And I've seen it go both ways. I've seen shipping. They're just like $20 to ship it because it's gonna have extra stuff in it. It's not gonna weigh that much more.
I think for a standard book, $10 is more than enough to cover.
Yeah, it's
right
just
now.
The right price, really.
Yeah, that's what I do there now. And the other thing I do is I don't break it down right now because I don't have a ton of international backers, so I don't break it down to country. I say worldwide. So the rest of the world is this amount, because it evens out a little bit. So yeah, somebody in the Netherlands might pay a little bit extra, but someone in Australia is paying a little less. So they're helping each other out a little bit,
It's the easiest way to do it.
It is the easiest way to do it, and it makes it simple. So, I do that, and most people don't have a problem with that.
I feel bad sometimes because I'm like, when you do your campaign and you're saying this is your international, understand you're putting an estimate on what you think it's going to cost, and then
it changes all the time. But the other thing I do for all my international,
I'll put together an international package. I'm like, okay, here's your invoice, and not thinking that they collected a bunch of money for shipping, so they're ready for this punch. Like if this was a bill coming to me, I would swallow real hard.
But they've collected that, And the other thing that I do for anybody that backs international is I throw extra stuff in there for them. So, I know how, you and I both know the shipping thing. You know that you're paying for up to a certain poundage, right?
Yes.
So whatever that turns out to be, to bring it up to that next pound before the dollar amount goes up, I take the weight right to that point, so that I start putting stuff in there, giving them extra stuff. Maybe I'll have a patch from another campaign, from an old campaign I'll throw in there. Maybe I've got a book from something else that I've worked on and they don't have it, so I'll throw that in there for them. And there's just things that I do for my international backers because I know
It's that 500 kilogram level. If you can keep it
Yeah.
under 500 kilograms, you're good. Not kilograms. That would be huge. 500 grams. Yes, I'm not European. I don't use the metric system.
Yeah, there's a VAT tax for a lot of these things, and so Netherlands
And
has to pay an
that's,
extra fee or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, and that all depends on how much the package is, because
there's a trick to
technically,
that.
I think the VAT applies to everything. And I've got actually an interesting little web page here.
So here's what I learned about the VAT tax. Here's what I learned about VAT tax. I don't pay for that up front. I don't have them pay for that up front. That's something they have to do. But here's what I do for them. The VAT tax is based on the value of the package from the customs form. But so in the VAT value, what I do is I don't give the tier value. I give the reprint value.
I do the
So
same
how much
thing.
does it cost me to reprint that book for you? So now that VAT tax is lowered. The other thing
And
I do
just sent you a link
is,
that you'll find useful too.
thank you. I'll definitely look into that. The other thing I do is I've learned for international shipping, I have a bubble wrap mailer that I stick the Gemini in, and I seal that, and now it gets a envelope pricing and not a package pricing. It's called box and bag shipping, which is something that is a workaround, and so
Everything in the
we're able to.
bag.
Yeah, so we're able to lower the cost of that shipping. To the U.S., we still, for single books, we try to use media mail if possible. It depends on who's working at the post, whether or not you're going to be able to get media mail on it or not. But we try to work out things to make shipping, decent.
I've only had one package opened at the receiving end by somebody's post office, and it got charged the extra 50 cents for priority versus media mail, whatever it would have been.
Yeah, I've never had that happen. Honestly, I've never had that happen.
I don't think it happens most of the time because, one thing, I seal, you've got the Gemini sealed up and then it's in a bag sealed up. It's a lot of work to open packages that are hard to get into.
Yeah.
And you've got to reseal it and make it not look damaged at least. And it's just, if it's too difficult, then they'll go to an easier package.
Yeah, I use that real special tape that's got the Hybrids logo and the Arrow logo on it. So they don't want to cut that because they're gonna know this has been opened. So I find that using branded packing tape helps.
Well, with me, it's the branded
printed bag, yeah. Which those look amazing, by the way. Do you get those through Sticker Mule, or do you have somewhere else?
These did come from Sticker Mule. Bags are not it used to be bags were an option, and then I had one guy whose Gemini mailer literally got baptized in motor oil. I'm like, okay, what, bags are no longer an option. But I have blank white ones that are like super cheap. They're like 30 cents a bag.
Yeah.
That gets built in.
Yeah, I've thought about doing the branded bag. It might be a little easier than the branded tape. Now that I only got really one functioning hand, this guy, he tries to play along, but he causes more problems than not most of the time when I'm trying to do fine motor skills. So
now Eric is saying that a package shipped to the Netherlands has to pay additional fees on whatever the package is valued at when you create the label. And again,
that's the VAT tax.
Value.
Yeah, it's like the VAT tax thing, very similar. It's
so
based
what we
on
do,
the customs thing.
Yeah, so what we do is, like, I take all the ones that are going to Europe and the UK, and they all go in one box. I mean, I still Gemini them. I still bag and board, put them in the Gemini, put them in the bag, and then write a label indicator on each one. But then they all go in one big outer pack, and that goes to our hub in Switzerland. So that ships, it's one shipment to Europe, and then he gets it and breaks it open and then reruns the postage through Swiss Post because he's a lot closer. And most comics, like a package like the one I just held up here, that's going to cost about $12 US to go from Switzerland to anywhere in Europe or the UK. So, you take that and then whatever it costs to get it to him in Switzerland, divided by book to get it per unit cost, it's a lot cheaper.
I think it's odd how expensive it is to ship to Canada.
Well, yeah, I learned something because I set up a hub in Canada. I'm like, okay, same principle. I'm going to ship it to the hub in Canada. He's going to send it out. And it cost like $5 more than shipping individual. I'm like, what happened here? He's like, well, here's the thing. You're American. You think Canada's a country, and it's not. It's a dominion of provinces. So every one of those provinces is basically international shipping from one to the other.
Yeah.
He's like, you need a hub in every province to get it to work cheap for you. Because I noticed, the ones that were in his same province, they mailed out really cheap, or cheaper. But the ones as soon as they cross the province line, might as well.
Yeah, I always just handle international shipping well, I do all the international shipping the same way because it is what it is for me. I don't have the option of I don't have a ton of international backers.
Interestingly enough, that box that I sent to the hub in Canada is the only time I've ever had it held up for VAT. None of the other boxes have come through, and I think that's because it's your harmonization code. Boy, we are deep in the weeds of shipping now.
Yeah, we are. We're talking. Yeah.
But that link I sent you there, it talks about the VAT percentages that are charged for books specifically, and there's so many countries that just don't. They don't charge a VAT for books, for printed material, and maybe that's why I haven't encountered the VAT that often. Because as soon as you start putting stuff in that's not printed material, like a T-shirt, now you've entered a different harmonization code, and now they'll charge for that. But books have a sort of a literary exemption.
Yeah, usually. But what kind of messes things up is when you start putting in all those little things. But those are fun. But
yeah, that's what tripped me up on the one that got opened, was because I was like, why did they charge? It was all printed material. I would have thought for that. But it was a copy of the Embrace. And of course, in addition to all the printed material, even the button, was printed. And it was ancillary to the title. So it wasn't just something extra thrown in. They had the slap hands and those little booger things. Like, oh, yeah, that doesn't count. So a 12-cent slap hand cost the purchaser another 50 cents to 60 cents in.
That's why I try with everything that I print, that I have in the package. It's all ancillary to the title.
Yes.
Because then it is okay for media mail. It's when it's not, then that's when we start getting into a little bit of trouble. But that's just something I've learned a lot over the years, and I don't know how exciting this is for the listeners to listen to. The viewers.
They haven't gone away. So.
Well, that's nice. Maybe this is right up their alley or something. But so shipping is a lot of fun, trying to figure all that out. But that's how I do a campaign. I figure out what all needs to happen, and then I set that price. That way, when the backer, when they give that dollar amount, they're not surprised down the road. Yeah. I'm not coming back asking for more money. I'm not pulling a Michael Scott Paper Company and saying, look, that shipment we dropped off today, we need more money for that. We're not doing that. And sometimes if I have to eat out of my profits, I have to eat out of my profits. If it takes me a while to ship, which is what happened when I got sick.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna care if you made a quarter or 50 cents on your shipping price. That's not going to bother them. So when you're making like an extra $10,
that's when it bothers them. Yeah.
But and like I said, I've seen people wing it the other direction too. I was in a debate with somebody about what it would cost to send original art in a tube, and they're like, the tubes are free at the post office, and the postage is only $5. Like, the tubes are free at the post office. They're oversized, and 1 pound or less will charge you $14.95 shipping. And the person that charged $20 to ship original artwork.
I won't ship my original artwork in a tube.
Yeah, well, that was the that
But
was
if it
an
gets,
entirely
but,
different.
yeah, but if it gets shipped to me in a tube, I'm gonna be mad because now it's gonna have a curl in it. I
Yep.
want that stuff flat. So I've got big 11 by 17 mailers that I use, and I've got a roll of do not bend stickers that I slap all over that thing, and then I put the art in a hard sleeve. Usually it's in a hard sleeve. If it's multiple
You
pieces,
cut
it's not. But
those. I've got one right here in reach. Yay! I've got 12 by 18 by 1
Gemini, so there you
boxes,
go.
and I will put a layer of foam, the 12 by 18 artwork in a 12 by 18 sleeve, and a layer of foam on top of it, and then it goes out. And if they
Nice
bend
job,
this
yeah.
to get it in your mailbox, they tried.
Yeah, they try. Yeah, they put their knee into it. Yeah. So yeah, that's for me, it's all about creating a great product, not only to read and to look at and to visualize. Um, some people roll Bristol board, buddy. Some of them do.
Oh man, I would be
Yeah.
angry.
But
Hold a girl.
not only do I want to create worlds that these people want to escape into, but I also want it to be an experience that they're like, I got the book, I got the whatever it was, and it came to my house in good condition, and the whole experience was pleasant for them. That way again, they're taking their hard-earned money, and money right now is less than what it was 8 years ago. Inflation is terrible right now. Gas is upwards of $5 a gallon to some people. The price of meat has gone up. Just being able to feed your family has skyrocketed. So if someone sees my project and they feel so inclined to give me some of that hard-earned money, then I'm going to earn that money from them. I'm going to do my part to earn it. So that's kind of how that's my
if you're
view.
asking them $15 for a comic book.
Yeah.
If you are, because it is boutique, it is special. This is just what they cost to go through crowdfunding.
Well, there's a thing with this tier, okay? So part of my just comic book tier includes all physical stretch goals, right? Now, once this goes to in demand, that tier will go away. The same image will stay, but it will be a cheaper book, because all you're getting now, if you back while it's not live, only when it's in demand, you're not going to get any of the stretch goal items. You're just going to get the book. So that's so yeah, it will be cheaper then, but you're getting the stretch goals with that copy, because I wanted to do $10, but I knew right away I had a patch, I had an ash can, and I have a metal trading card. That starts to add up. Now I'm cutting into my, because it takes about $10, and I don't get to pay myself by the time this is over with. I'm paying other artists, my colorist and stuff like that, my letterer. I'm not paying me on these books yet. So
you've got to make a plan to do that.
yeah, I'm working on that. But I think if I could grow my audience, and double, maybe get 200, 250 backers, then I could lower my overall cost, because then it wouldn't require so much. So that's kind of my that's kind of where I'm at with that. So yeah, I'm asking $15 for a book. So I want to make sure that when they get that, they're getting all the stretch goals that I could possibly get. They're it's coming in great shape. They're happy with it. I want them to feel good about spending that kind of money. And also on the bigger tiers, I discount stuff, so it's actually more economical to get a bigger tier than it is to get a lower tier, because on the bigger tiers you're actually getting the book for about $5, sometimes $5 to $10 for the book on some of the bigger tiers. So yeah, some of those are like that one right there, the $100 tier. You're getting, really you're spending the money on the bust, because they're going to be so limited. Because I finished those myself. So those I'm printing and finishing myself. I'm doing all the finish work on it, the smoothing, the sanding, and then all the faux paint and the airbrushing. I'm doing that and I'm doing it one-handed. So
It looks metal.
yeah, it's you know, I did pretty good in art class. I learned a few things along the years. So yeah, that faux finish, it's really nice, and so yeah, it's very limited, and when you get it, it's going to be, Luke Stone did this for you. I'm not paying somebody else to do it. Luke Stone does this for you. That's why it costs so much extra money, because I'm only doing 10 of them, 10 of those, and then like I've got 5 um, of the add-ons available, and so I won't be doing any more than 15, because that's the most I can do, RJ. That's it.
Yeah.
And be able to get these out by July. It's not going to happen. I've already started working on these, so I know that I've got 3 of them so far. I've already started working on them, to get them done. So.
And I imagine you're probably just going ahead and printing all 10 of them.
Well, up to, yeah, because it takes a while. It takes about 8.5 hours to print one.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other 5 are resin, so I am paying someone to print those on their resin machine, because I don't have a resin machine. I have a
And
PLA
that's the
machine.
one that we saw further down here.
No, that's PLA. No, the multiple colors, that's as an add-on. So let's say you have a printer of your own, and you want to do it yourself, and maybe you want to paint it like Trash Man. You don't want it to be a faux finish like a bronze or like a statue. So you want to paint it. You can actually, as an add-on, get the digital STL files, and it comes with hair attached, hair unattached. Every STL file that I have for the bust, I send you. So you get the whole kit and caboodle. So you can print it out the way you want to, at any size you want, and so that's how that works out with that.
See, I don't have one of these 3D printers. I'll probably get one, at which point you'll never see me again, because I'll just be in so much trouble.
I was printing like crazy before I got sick, man. It's like the machine was on every day, printing something, and then I got sick and I just couldn't do it. And I am pretty happy with where we're at so far. I mean, we're 24 backers away from hitting 100 backers. My last campaign did a little over 100 backers before it went to in demand. The Hybrids Empire, absolutely. But yeah, it was. I'd like to see another 100 backers on this one. But man, I was out of for 5 months. Not really promoting or anything, and like 3 months of that, I wasn't even on social media. I mean, I was literally in a coma for over a month, and my muscles were so atrophied I couldn't even hold my phone. So I had to do a lot of work just to be able to hold my phone again, so I could go on social media. And then to be on social media was exhausting, because it's like it just took so much energy to hold my phone and to try to type, so I just didn't do anything for so long. And so I know I've kind of been out of the mind of a lot of people.
No, you weren't.
Well,
you definitely were not.
Yeah, I'm learning that. I'm learning that people were very concerned, and their prayers and their support were coming my way. But my project was out of their minds. I'll put it that way. Hybrids wasn't. None of us were thinking about the next hybrids. That's. Yeah. I was thinking about my next breath. My wife, kids, they were thinking about that. And next Thursday, so the 5th, I celebrate my 42nd birthday. I'm going to celebrate this one pretty. I'm going to make a big deal about this one, because, quite honestly, I didn't think I was going to have another one. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Birthday. I mean, you're 42. That's the ultimate answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Yeah, it really is. So I'm pretty excited about, most people are like, I'm turning 42. Now I'm like, praise God, I'm turning 42, man. Yeah.
Beats the alternative.
Yeah, beats the alternative, So, so it's, hopefully next week on the Nerd Bacon. So this week on Nerd Bacon, we've got Rich Ayala and Christy Shen. So it's Nerd Bacon is like safe for work, but we're gonna it's going to be really hard to keep tomorrow safe for work.
Christy's head will explode if she tries to stay safe for work.
Well, I'm gonna beg them not to get me fired, because some of my congregation members do watch the show, because it's safe for work and it's nerd stuff and they love it. So I'm like, please don't get me fired. And then but the following week I've got Justin Belmont with Smokes the Fox in there, and so we're looking forward to that. I think that'll be a lot of fun on my birthday.
Another interesting safe for work one.
Yeah, Belmont can be safe for work. Yeah, he's got no problem with that.
He's safe for work to talk to. I'm just thinking of the whole concept of the book.
We're going to talk about it's not just about smoking weed. It's got an honest, legit story to it. And so we'll talk more about the storyline and really highlight that, because I think a lot of people, they just, they're distracted by the gimmick, I think. But he's got a legit storyline for that book. It's pretty exciting. So I'm looking
you talk
forward
about building a universe. He's got two interconnecting titles that exist in the same universe that are telling pretty much the same story at an intersection point. They're both different stories, but they have this point where they cross.
It's well thought out. Yeah, it's well thought out. And so he's put some thought into it. Yeah.
Well, Luke, we went 2 hours. Can you believe that?
I can not believe that we went 2 hours. That's we're just having fun chatting.
Yeah, talking shop.
Yeah,
talking comics.
Back Hybrids, Sons of Gods.
Back Hybrids. Links right below the video. It's right down there.
Back it. Yeah, I need to. I got bills to pay. Got mouths to feed. Ain't nothing in this life for free.
It's hit the goal. It's funded. It's gonna be put out.
It is funded. Yeah.
He's done it 7 times or 8 times before already. So.
7 times on Indiegogo, and more than that on Kickstarter.
Well,
so I've been a part of. I think I've been a part of a total like 25 different campaigns that I've been a part of, and helped fulfill and fulfilled. So yeah, I'm no noob when it comes to getting books out. I think I have a reputation of getting books out. Even with my last campaign, I got sick. I had 15 boxes left to ship out. Most of them were my international people. And once I woke up, I started trying to communicate with my wife and daughter. Took a couple of weeks for me to be able to, because I was communicating through letterboard, and they had to bring my computer so I can unlock it with my fingerprint. But I tried to show them how to, communicate to them how to do fulfillment. And so they came home and they finished up fulfillment for me and got everything out. And in that process, I had one guy who fell on hard times and needed a refund. And he had backed at a kind of a higher tier. And I was like, but I'd already got everything. His package was already there ready to go. Like it was they just needed to ship it at that point. His was one of the packages ready to go. And so we refunded him, but I told him, I said, go ahead, ship him the package, just, because, he stayed with me and, waited as long as he could. Go ahead and give him the books, And so we hooked him up. And so, I only had one issue. I tried to do updates from my phone when I could finally type to let people know what was going on. But outside of that, I've got a reputation of fulfilling on time or early, giving extras and having the book show up in good shape. So I want to continue that. I kind of want to continue that reputation. Yeah.
All right. Well, Luke, we're going to wrap it up. Let you get some rest and get back to making some books. So,
I got some art to do, man. I got stuff to do. I'm getting ready to. I'm doing some more traditional pieces, so I'm going to have some original art available on the campaign again. Nice. So I'm going to be posting those up here in the next couple of days, and we're doing smaller pieces, so they're going to be more affordable. So we're looking at anywhere from $40 to $50 for those pieces. that people can get some original art with. And
That's
so
a very good deal for original art, because I've seen
so
them, $300, $500,
yeah,
and they sell.
I figured this thing out where I started doing it with the last campaign for a couple of special backers. I would do a sketch in an ink. I would do a pencil and ink on the back of their backing board, and because one side of the backing board is perfect for drawing on,
Sure.
the matte side. And so I was like, so I just started picking up some of those when I got home and just practicing on, and drawing. And I'm like, it turns out it's a perfect size to do something fun with, and it doesn't take a lot of materials, so I can do cheaper with those things. And some people are like, my wife's like, you're underpricing it, but I think I want people to be able to get original art. I want
And
to be
you
able
know
to
what?
get
They sell frames that are comic book sized,
Yeah.
specific for that. You don't have to put a comic book in there. You can put a backer board. It's a perfect flush fit. I know, I've got one right up there.
Yeah.
It's on my wall.
Yeah. So the cheaper options they're done on backing board. Now I did have a 9x12 that sold already, and I might do an 11x17 piece as well. But I'm doing a special commission for my great nephew, actually, of a Spider-Man. So that's taking up a little bit of extra time. But
There's also the 6x9 postcard option here, which is what I'm putting into all these kits for the company. Man, everybody got a sketch card. So
yeah, that's awesome.
A lot of packing to do there.
Yes.
Put them all,
Back hybrids, back the company, men. Check out RJ for all of your fulfillment needs.
Absolutely.
And like and subscribe. Subscribe and ring the bell for this channel.
Definitely share this out. Let more people see Luke's work and let them know what let them know he's doing, guys. Woody, you got a lot of watching to do, so I appreciate the fact that you're actually going to rewind and watch it again.
Yeah,
Luke,
awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on. I really do
Thanks for
appreciate
having
your
me.
time.
It is always
Folks
my
in the
pleasure to
chat,
hang out with you, RJ.
It's fun. I love talking with you guys. I need to get the entire Arrow crew on here sometime. You and Randy. God, I'd have a 6-hour show if I had you and Randy and some of the other guys on here.
Yeah. I think C. Michael Lanning will have an Arrow book coming out month 2. Then we've got Russ Leach as an Arrow guy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Folks in chat, thank you so much for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you. I say it all the time.
Absolutely.
And I mean it. So we appreciate y'all popping in and giving us a watch. And as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.